I will make it legal. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today I want to talk about Omicrons, folks, and not the kind that you get and potentially die from. The Omicrons that we apply to characters, and they don't die from them. In fact, they make them stronger, apparently. So we've got a lot of them, a few new ones that we're going to evaluate, and that's fine. The way I typically try to evaluate these, though, we can't really evaluate them all in like one big list because it depends on what priorities you have in terms of, are you in a guild that really needs territory war Omicrons, or are you kind of just flying solo under the radar? You just want to do GAC? Do you really not care about PvP at all and just want to do territory battles, etc.? So I'm going to evaluate them based off of their category, what game mode they're actually being used in. And I don't want to do this every single month, folks. I don't want to have to evaluate these, though it may end up being that way for a couple months just because I don't personally I don't know all the different things about all of these, and neither do you. None of us do. And so we're going to reevaluate, and I need to get this information out because I want to make sure everyone has the most information to make an educated decision. So we're going to jump in. Just want to remind you guys to hit that thumbs up button or leave a comment in the comments area if you want to support the channel for free. All you've got to do is do one of those two things or hit the sub button, one of those things, and stuff. So let's jump in and talk about them. So we're going to talk about GAC Omicrons first, and the best one out of them all is, it's Starkiller. Starkillers is the best. I almost have him unlocked on this account. In fact, I'm less than 50 total shards of Mara and Talon combined away from unlocking him, but he's still a little blue glowy ghost right now, and that's fine. So actually his Omicrons, they're all different tiers. So I'm just gonna say this, guys. If you have Starkiller, you need the number one Omicron, probably out of any Omicron out there, period, is going to be, let's see, which one is it? I just always forget which unique is which. Yeah, so it's this one, guys. It's his unique. There is much conflict in you. This is the one that gives him all of the awesome things that works super well in Grand Arena and makes it so that he doesn't really do anything in territory wars, at least nothing in like high-end gameplay. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. Obviously, we're not talking about his kit necessarily, but this is the thing that unlocks his everything. Like, this is the thing that makes him good. You need his unique. It's the single most important Omicron out there if you have Starkiller. If you don't have Starkiller, obviously you don't have to apply this. You can't apply this. I'm sorry. You can't. Permission denied. I only have one Omicron left because I just applied one to Dadbod Boba a minute ago, but Starkiller gets his unique for sure before GAC lock. That is no question. If I actually get to unlock him, it depends on luck. So yeah, he's a good character. His unique is great. The other two are good. They're not nearly as must-have though. So here's what. Let's see, which one is the order? Okay, so this one is the least important of the Starkiller Omicrons. I mean, I think that other character Omicrons are probably going to end up being more important, like Quigons or Zams or Dash Rendars. But, I mean, this is still good. I'm going to want it eventually because we're going to be using Starkiller so much. But while he's unleashed, so that's after he's popped his ult, which takes a while, dispel all debuffs on all allies, and buff immunity and healing immunity can't be copied, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, this is nice. Dispel all debuffs, that is nice. That's undeniably nice, but it's one ability is all it is, guys. It's just one ability. It's not the whole thing. Like, it doesn't make an entire squad awesome. It just makes one squad awesome one time that he uses it. Probably only uses it once or twice in a fight anyways. Instead of transforming an entire team, it buffs him. It does a cool effect. That's nice. It's not the very best one. Let's see, the Boundless Force Throw, I believe, is the really awesome one. No, it's not. I'm sorry. Force Repulse. Yeah, okay, so this is the one that dispels all the buffs on your opponents, and for every buff you dispel, it deals 25% more damage. So if you're facing like Jedi or something, this one can just one-shot someone. You think about some of those like Jedi training or Jedi Revan teams that just have like stacks of 10 buffs on every character. You dispel that, and I mean that's 50 buffs that are dispelled, 25% for each of them. I mean, that's a ton of damage. And it's not a small damage modifier either. It's going to one-shot someone if it's in that context. And so, something worth looking at. This is the second one I would apply personally, if possible. This one is, but once again, it's just an ability. You know, I like making sure I have a full team, you know, accomplished sometimes too. I don't know. Starkiller, it seems like this is going to be a necessary one to actually kill Galactic Legends, though. So, there you go. You have the unique, then I would do Force Repulse, then Boundless, Force Throw, but not necessarily all three instantly, immediately. The next highest in the GAC Omicron tiers, our hierarchy, is, in my opinion, Zam. And I know that people are going to say, oh, he's just hating on Qui-Gon again. I actually really like Qui-Gon's. Even with the nerf, it's still really good. Still going to accomplish a lot. You're not going to kill Galactic Legends with it now. I get it. And I'm not trying to rub it in. Just the fact of life. Like, it's going to kill a lot of other stuff still. It's still going to be really strong. But I do think, and I've always favored Zam anyways, despite her choice of boots, because I can't really tell. Is this where her boots end? There probably is. And why is she human? Like, why is her face in here human? Like, she's a changeling. I don't get it. But one way or another, she is really, really strong in the sense that she makes her entire bounty hunter team really fast. And that means it not only saves speed mods for Bosk and Grief, because you can put some ruinously fast mods on them. Instead, you can put those ruinously fast mods on other characters who are well deserving. You can give Zam a little extra juice. I mean, she's not super fast, minus 305, 122. You know, that's great. She's giving everyone 72 or something, 73 extra speed, and that means that Bosk and Grief can just hang out at somewhere in the 3 teens, you know, like 315, something like that, and make them, you know, 385, which is faster than any Darth Revan is capable of being. And that means that a Bosk team can go before the entire Dengar, or the entire Dengar team, yeah, let's just randomly talk about Dengar. No, the entire Darth Revan team, and that means that you can usually get your contract. You know, if you have Aura Singh lead, you can just take out the whole team. She's buffing the whole team anyways with all their different offense and everything. You just mow through them, and so, you know, Zam really makes the bounty hunter team amazing, and it makes them spend way fewer speed mod resources. Both of those things are so good, so amazingly good. It turns a really good team into a transcendent team, and if you put it on defense and they don't have the right team to counter that speed of bounty hunter, then they're going to really struggle as well. So Zam is a great Omicron, guys. I can't recommend hers enough. Qui-Gon's is next, and I mean, it's good. You're going to be able to one-shot teams still. Sometimes it's going to be a little trickier now. You need Jedi Knight Anakin. Like, it's hard for me to get past that. Instead of Zam opening the door for a team to just destroy people and not require any resources. In fact, it makes the entire team spend fewer resources. Qui-Gon instead leeches resources from other really important places, like your other Jedi teams. And that, to me, is a really big struggle. I'm not saying that it's a bad Omicron. It is a very good one. In fact, you know, people have been struggling against it, especially, I would say that this is way better in the early game than the late game, because the late game, you're going to be facing people with Bad Batch, and I don't think that there's a version of this Qui-Gon team that loses or that wins against Bad Batch, or at least competently played Bad Batch. Remember what I said a while ago, that you know, people say that they like to put this on defense so that they can, you know, like trick easy opponents, that easy opponents are able to, you know, that they're able to beat them. And it's like, well, of course you're beating them. They're bad players. They're easy. Of course they're tripping up. They don't know what to do. That's not a metric that should exist at all. What you should really be focusing on is if there's a margin if there's a very small margin between you and your opponent, how does an ability help you? And the fact is, this one is good. It can be a really great tool. I've seen people use it on offense as a really strong tool. And I think that that's where it needs to stay, is on offense. On defense, if you're facing a good player, they're just going to destroy it. I've destroyed it 3 different ways last season over the course of 2 different accounts, and it's not that challenging. I mean, even with Anakin, you can game it so easily. And so I think that this one should go on offense, and that you should kill a team like Darth Revan and just one-shot it. Have him kill Qui-Gon and see if you can one-shot with Anakin. We'll see how all the damage modifiers end up, but I do think that Anakin's probably going to have enough juice for that, and that's what you should do. So, yeah. Qui-Gon, still a good Omicron. I just don't think it's as transcendent as Zam, because Zam makes her team way better for no extra resources other than the Omicron, whereas Qui-Gon makes his team, his Omicron requires more resources to be pulled in. I'm not a huge fan. I'll eventually get it though. I'll get the Starkiller ones first though, for sure. Personally, no shade if you guys get Qui-Gon early, for real. I hope you guys get refunds if you want them too, for what it's worth. So, Dash Rendar, I really like his. I wouldn't have put his on as early as I did, but I don't really regret having applied it. He's the one that I put down, and then they announced that GAC was changing and that we weren't going to have GAC for a long time, and then I just had spent Omicron for no real gain. We couldn't use it in GAC because we didn't have GAC for like a month after that, which is fine, but I would have probably saved my Omicron otherwise. Now, it's an interesting thing. Would I put it on him now instead of the second Starkiller one? I really might. I really like what he does for the team. Here's the thing, folks. So people are telling me that the Omicron is you don't need the Omicron because if an ally loses prepared, they gain prepared. That's fine. I understand, I guess, on some level that sure, you don't need it because in a lot of ways, like, you regenerate a lot of your Omicron or a lot of your prepared. But here's the thing. It stops you from being able to use some abilities that are just completely ridiculous, that some would consider to be unnatural even. Like Vander Chewie being this weird, awkward tank, like health replacing protection madness, like people saying that, your protection turns into health, and it's false. Your protection just like disappears and your health just augments itself. They're 2 separate things. Anyways, Here's the thing with his Omicron, guys. First off, if 2 of your characters die at the same time, Vander actually revives both of them. Like, if an AoE goes off and 2 characters like Kira and YOLO die, then Vander Chewie just revives both, just instantly. Boom. They're both back alive. And then he gets his prepared again. And then when Vander goes, you can use his special attack, do 100k damage, which is crazy, despite his, the rest of his awkward kit. Does it do 100k damage, and then he gets his prepared again. Same with Kira. She throws a grenade, dispels everything, puts all of the cool debuffs on him, and then she gets prepared again. Young Han assists every single time, and even when he uses abilities that would get rid of his prepared, he gets prepared again, and therefore he can assist all the time and do a ton of damage. So this whole team really, really likes holding on to prepared, and I think that people aren't giving it enough credit, that you can just spam awesome abilities and not have to worry about the consequences, and don't have to worry about getting it back. So it's super nice. I don't know that it's not like necessary, but it is nice. On offense, I think it's going to end up being an offensive team, but it's very cool. It's a very cool thing. Now, Chief Chirpa's Omicron is pretty decent as well. I have it on my 2 alt accounts, And this one just gives your Ewoks more speed, and it gives them extra damage with their basics, and it gives them more chance to call an assist with their specials, all kinds of really cool stuff. It makes Pat Blue into some, like if you put enough speed on Pat Blue at gear 13, he turns into like a 400 some speed monstrosity. He is completely unstoppable, and if you can start the turn meter train, then there's a good chance that you just never relinquish the turn meter train, and Ewoks have an amazing turn meter train. Now, I don't know exactly. I know that for a little bit, at least, they were talking about Ewoks going really well with Geos. I don't remember if CG is going to nerf that or not, but even with Ewoks, this team is really good. It saved me a few times in GAC on both of my other accounts. It's because people don't expect your Ewoks to be fast, and they don't expect it to matter even if they are fast. So you make Pat Blue fast and go to town. It's nice. It's a sneaky one, and I think it has a lot of versatility. I've seen a lot of really good players use it on offense, which is probably where it eventually needs to go once you put some gear levels. Remember, putting a fast Pat Blue behind a bunch of gear 11 Ewoks is going to be cool on some levels, but remember, they're going to hit like wet noodles. You need to actually get them up to gear 12 or gear 13 if you want to see some actual impact. So it's a good one. I think it has a lot of good utility for people especially who have invested in Ewoks. I don't think that it's better than any of the ones that we've just shown, and I think the Starkiller ones are all more important than probably putting it on Sherpa. But it's also a free team. If you've maxed yourself out and you're in high-end GAC and you need another team to place on defense or offense, this is a free team that can really mess with your opponents if you've modded them right and put the right gear on them. So it's nice because it creates a team out of nothing, basically, a relevant team. So those are the first 5 characters. Next, we're gonna whip through these ones. So Darth Talon's next. This is almost a to be determined still, guys. We just don't have enough sample size. So she goes well with Traya and with Scion. That's cool. That's great. That seems like a natural place for her. It's just hard to evaluate so far. I know I've seen a lot of the high-end players in the top levels be able to use her well with Traya, but then I've seen a few instances of where she just goes well, or the Traya team still does about the same good with the same banners without using Talon at all, with Talon somewhere else. So, she's good. We're going to wait until she actually has relics in order to actually evaluate her more properly. Now we have Iden Versio, and she's got a really interesting one because her whole thing is making sure that whenever her team is able to, whenever her team has to jump in, even if the turn meter's loaded, she's going to make sure that they all have the opportunity to destroy the opponent anyways. And so you put the Omicron on here, and suddenly you beat teams like, I don't know, Night Sisters and stuff. Let's see, whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, Imperial Trooper allies recover health and protection and gain 10% turn meter. So like this, if you play this one, you auto destroy the rebel fighters, like just completely. Think of this, guys. Think of rebel fighter team taking all of their turn, taking their turn, all like 5 or 6 of them assist, and so when an enemy attacks out of turn, Imperial Trooper allies recover 20% health and protection. So if 5 people go out of turn, you're going to full recover your health and protection, and your whole team is going to gain 10% turn meter. So I mean, you're just going to scoot forward, not take any damage from the rebel fighters at all, and then you're going to take your turn, probably devastate them. But if you don't, you can just turn around and take another turn because you're guaranteed turn meter, because they don't have an endless turn meter loop because you're gaining turn meter. You're going to get a word in edgewise, and it's not going to be pretty. So this team, that's just one example. Probably a Commander Luke team is also going to struggle against it, though they're going to be able to do more damage through your health and protection than the rebel fighters. So I think that this team is going to be great against Commander Luke, against the rebel fighters, and I do think you might need the Omicron for it. So we'll see. I don't know. Right now, I'm excited to use it. We're gonna wait. This is another to be determined. Finally, we have Rose, and hers isn't bad. The only issue is she just doesn't. I mean, don't look at her mods. She's just like randomly modded because I don't hardly use her, but she's got an, it's okay. Like, what does it do? She gains, so you gain offense for each exposed enemy. Let's see, and they gain 10% turn meter whenever a resistance ally scores a critical hit. So, you know, every time you do a crit, you get 5%. Like, it's fine. It's good enough. But like, where do you need that in resistance right now? Like, what squad is going to turn into something good because of it? Something better. Something. I mean, it'll make a Finn team better, I guess. That's fine. But a Finn team isn't going to move the needle regardless, even with this Omicron. So right now, the total impact on the game, I would say this is probably still the worst Omicron in the GAC category, folks. Now, we're going to have to move very quickly through the territory war ones. Now, so Dad Bod Boba, I think that if you have him unlocked, once again, you need to apply his leadership. I already did that one. It's because it's territory wars. So, you know, it's giving extra mastery to everyone, extra speed, extra potency. He gains extra speed, max health, all this stuff. He gains so much from this, as opposed to the other ones. The unique one is fine. This one is okay. Like, it gives you more stuff to do with this one ability. That's fine. It's good. It really is. It's good. But I think that the second one is probably his unique. And that may change. I'm not just like 100% on it, but just on what I've observed so far. So, you know, he becomes immune to ability block and stun, and whenever he defeats an enemy, he recovers 100% protection. Blah blah blah. Like, it just gives him more stuff. Overall, he generates additional stacks of momentum, which is, you know, is his really cool, or at least his. I don't know if it's that cool. It's his mechanic, though, to make him work. So I think that, and this is what most of the guilds are telling people, for sure apply the leader. The other ones will wait and see, and I think that that's wise advice. Mara Jade's is probably more important than either of the other Dad Bod Boba ones, though there is something to be said about focusing the power on one character in Territory Wars, especially to make him ultra powerful. So there is something to be said about that. However, Mara Jade, if anyone takes General Skywalker teams on defense in Territory Wars, she just completely destroys them for it. I mean, she takes away, they lose 100% protection, and you know, she gains turn meter, all this stuff. That means that General Skywalker just sits down. You can just kill the clones. He'll stand up and you kill him. She just destroys them. She also is almost just broken against Jedi Knight Luke teams. It's really funny how amazing she is against Jedi Luke teams. She is just really good. Even against other teams, like just the fact that she takes. So if they're not a Galactic Legend, they lose 100% protection. And let's see, 50% max protection. And Mara Jade. So this is really good, even against guys that aren't General Skywalker, who won't just sit down for the entire fight. They're going to, like, she's going to destroy a lot of different teams. It's, you know, as long as it's not against Galactic Legends. But she makes this team so strong in Territory Wars. It's very difficult to imagine not wanting this one. I imagine I will apply this one eventually, even though I don't really like Territory Wars that much. The support I can give my guild with this is just probably too good. She's a great character in every aspect of the game, though. She's one of the best characters to be released in the last year, in my opinion. She's amazing, and she's super fast. I'm only 17 away, which means if I get a block of 16, I'll still need one more draw for her from shipments. It's whale problems, folks. Captain Phasma is one that if your entire guild applies it and your opponent doesn't have a Commander Luke team that can deal with it, it can be a serious issue. That being said, you have to remod the whole team based off of this, you know, on that, and you have to do it every territory war. I don't love it. This is really good, especially at the lower levels, though. Lower level guilds are going to derive an enormous advantage from this. It can be halted with Commander Luke. I believe that that's what people were saying, though. Who knows? Maybe crew can stop it cold in its tracks. Not really sure exactly how it works. I haven't seen it personally. You know, I did. I tacked it once. I forgot that the Omicron exists, and I was like, oh, cool. A little Phasma team. I'm gonna just use my, like, pretty bad bounty hunters and try to take it down, and I didn't get a turn. It was quite humbling, and I'll never forget it. So it is really good. I think that you can game it, but I mean, I know that some high-end guilds are actually considering forcing their guys to apply this one. So it's a good one. I don't know. I don't know how good at the end of the day. I think Mara's is better, and I think the dead bod ones are probably better, but that's good. Darth Sidious, I don't really see this as a super Sidious one to apply. So what are you doing? You're just, you do extra damage with this? Like, let's see, so equal to half of Darth Sidious's potency until the first time he's defeated. So, he gains... So everyone gains extra max health. That's cool. Equal to his potency. Like, it's an okay stat, I guess. I just, when he uses demoralizing blows, I think that's his AoE. The cooldowns are reduced by 1 for each Sith ally, so he can and he gains 50 speed. So he can essentially just spam this, and he gets a lot faster every time. He gets 50 speed every time. He gains another 200 total speed. That's great. So he's, you make him what, 500-ish speed. That's fine. That doesn't mean he's gonna go forever always. I mean, he's gonna gain turn meter and stuff. You can set up a train probably for him to actually do damage, but I just don't know. Like, is he personally powerful enough to impact things the way that Phasma does, or the rest of the other ones, Mara, Jade, or Dad Bod Boba? I mean, I don't think so. He could be fun. I would really love to see some video. If someone has some, you should link it to me. I would love to see it. Chief Nebot, if you have Jawas and you want to do this, I guess that's fine. This is still, so what do? Like, you put it on defense and someone's like, oh, I can't use OG Kylo to beat this. Like, there's still a ton of teams that beats this. It's not that tough to beat this team, even with the Omicron. So, I don't know, and you have to have super high relic Jawas to do it. So I wouldn't say that it's a very good one, frankly. I mean, maybe it's wonderful. I don't really think so. So territory battle ones, we have Kyle Katarn at the very top because he already makes his rebel fighters pretty decent, but otherwise, it turns his force influence into some crazy stuff. It makes his whole team just so obnoxious. I have a feeling I'm going to be applying this one in the future, because we're going to have a new light side territory battle at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, whatever, but this is going to be something that, like, if it's like on Endor, for instance, you're going to want rebel fighters anyways, because you're going to have to use rebels to fight places, and 10% turn meter for each other Jedi ally. Like, I mean, he already gets, oh yeah, the Jedi ally thing doesn't matter, but I mean, it's good. This one's actually makes his team substantially better, and it was already pretty good. People are already getting 4 of 4 on waves with him, even without the Omicron. So once we get a new light side territory battle, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be applying this one. Rolo is another good one because she can basically replace Commander Luke on a team. And then you can put Commander Luke in platoons. That's what's good about hers. It's cool to watch. Like, it's pretty dominant. I think I even watched someone hit auto once. It worked very nicely. It was good. I don't relish the thought of upgrading Rolo, honestly, but this one's fine. It's especially great for lower level guilds because you want to be able to place Commander Luke in those platoons to be able to get your bonuses, and if you do that, then you don't have a good rebel team that gets 4 out of 4 all over the place. So but Rolo allows you to do both. It's a nice little thing, guys. I do like this. This is definitely improved on me. I think the Kyle Katarn one is better, but that one's fine. And now we get to the ones that don't matter even a little bit, guys. Like, who cares about Phoenix in territory battles? Oh, this is in territory wars. Holy balls, how did I miss that? Okay, so she's in... this is at the end of territory wars. I apologize to everyone, but A Territory Wars, no one uses this unless it's really low level guild stuff, in which case you just want to put it on like Phasma anyways, and you want to do some, like, put it on Mara Jade. Everyone's got Mara Jade now, or at least they should, and pretty soon she'll be farmable anyways, and so even at 3 stars at gear 8, Mara Jade's gonna be way better than this. Like, I guess people have some Phoenix worked up. It looks okay. How often are you going to use Phoenix in Territory Wars? And we can't really test it either because, yeah, this is one that's just very disappointing. I forgot that it was Territory Wars though. Sorry about that. All right, we've got IPD here, folks. He is Territory Battles, thank goodness. So he can actually spam his self-destruct, which is pretty cool. But the self-destruct only does 100k damage, anyways, and you know. So, okay, so whenever he uses self-destruct, the target enemy takes an additional damage equal to 200% of his max health. But here's the thing, guys. The damage that we're going to be seeing in the next Territory battle is going to be immense. Like, he's not going to, his little tiny health pool is not going to help in destroying some of those stupid, ridiculous guys who are, who are going to be impossible to kill. I don't know. Let's see. What else does it do? Probe droids max health and other Empire allies gain offense equal to 300% of IPD's offense stacking, which actually that's not too bad. That's not too bad, but it's also discounts, you know, like Imperial troopers and stuff. That might be okay. We'll have to see. I think this is a wait and see because right now the Dark Side Hoth battle obviously is on lockdown for most guilds, and the Dark Side Territory battle in Geonosis is also on lockdown for most guilds. You really don't need a team with IPD. I don't think. I mean, it's just a weird one, guys. I mean, if you're in a guild that already has, so if you can use a 7-star IPD in Darkside Territory Battle on Geonosis, then most likely you have enough teams developed that you don't need him at all because it's not a tough territory battle anymore. It's basically been solved. And if you don't have IPD worked up and you're still in Hoth or something, then like you can't even use him anyways because he's not 7 stars. So this doesn't seem like it's going to be necessary. We'll see whenever we get another territory battle for Darkside, though. That'll be a question mark. So Karth, that just came out, and here's the thing. Everyone's got Old Republic worked on to some degree because you need them for the different Revens, and that's fine. But it's all dealing like inflict damage over time, but it's not irresistible damage over time either. And I mean, you can't even use him with Canderous. I know a lot of people were pointing out that I quote-unquote failed to recognize that Canderous was dark side and he's light side. And I will say that when I said that, initially I did say that in a video, but then in the same video, I actually said, but oh, actually Canderous is dark side, so never mind. But I don't know, if people like didn't listen to that point or something. It's a very strange thing. I realized it like less than a minute later. But that being said, I am well aware Canderous does not work with Karth in territory battles unless there is the option potentially, guys. So in the old Hoth territory battles, I know not many people do that anymore, but there was an option for bounty hunters, and you could actually use all light side and dark side in that one single place. So you could use light side and dark side characters for bounty hunters only. That was the only place that I know of that you could use light side and dark side in the same campaign, but they could do something similar for Old Republic. We'll see. Otherwise, I don't think this is good. It doesn't seem like, I mean, if you can use Canderous with it, maybe, because Canderous can give tenacity down. You can start stacking these damage over time effects. It could end up being really good, but you'd have to have some way to use Canderous with them. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to be good. We'll see, though. Maybe someone with really good Old Republic is going to school us on it. I'm not really sure. So that's it for us today, folks. Which priorities are you going for? My own personal, I'm going to be putting some on Territory Wars because I want to have a versatile account. And if I want to get into a good guild, I'm going to need, if I want to switch guilds, not that I want to, I love the guild I'm in currently, but if I wanted to switch guilds, having a good territory war standing is going to really help me get into some of the better guilds, and that, you know, that's going to be true for you guys as well. Starkiller is not going to be that good in territory wars, but he's going to really help in killing galactic legends in GAC, which is going to be necessary if I want to be in one of the top spots. So those are the ones that I'm going to be working on right now and trying to prioritize. We'll see though. Iden Versio's is really good. I'm excited to see what that does. It's going to make, like, just hand me a few teams. It can just scoop them up with a pretty bad team if I put it on Iden. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be looking at as well. I'm looking for that one to move up the line in terms of priority pretty soon as well. We just don't have any data yet. So let me know what your priorities are. What did I miss? Guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.